43 are still in the hospital, some in critical condition. And we have seen lately the destruction that can happen when a train goes off the tracks. But what happens when those trains are carrying combustible chemicals?
Well, look at this from last Wednesday in North Dakota when a train carrying crude oil derailed and caught fire. A small town was evacuated. We're wondering, could it happen here? Tim Miller joining us live tonight with his special report, Danger on the Rails. Tim?
Jerry and Emily, Bakken crude oil, maybe you've never heard of it, but you need to. It is highly flammable and potentially deadly if there's a derailment. Well, we discovered it comes through many local neighborhoods, maybe yours.
You hear them in your neighborhood, but do you know what's on board? We found out highly flammable crude oil in the millions of gallons. But what's being done to keep you safe? This is what could happen. The calm of Lac Mégantic, Quebec shattered on July 6, 2013. A train carrying flammable crude oil derailed and exploded. The downtown was leveled. 47 unsuspecting people were killed. And this February, 27 CSX cars carrying the oil derail in West Virginia. The Quebec disaster prompted the U.S. Department of Transportation to issue this order last May, aimed at rail companies that haul 1 million or more gallons of crude oil in a single train from the Bakken region of North Dakota. The order forces rail companies to share with state emergency management leaders the routes and estimated number of trains carrying the oil each week. And we wanted to know how much was coming through our area. We got our hands on it through a Freedom of Information Act request and discovered Norfolk Southern moves 13 to 24 trains per week with Bakken crude oil down its CD line, through Williams County and its biggest towns, then through Fulton County and into Lucas County, through Holland, Springfield Township, South Toledo, and across the Maumee River into East Toledo. Then through Wood County, through Walbridge and Northwood, into Ottawa County and Oak Harbor and Port Clinton, and then into Erie County through Sandusky. Toledo Deputy Chief Thomas Jack-Seddick trained in Colorado in October on how to handle the oil.
This particular product has an extremely high BTU content. So when they do derail, and if it does catch on fire, the heat is very, very intense.
Norfolk Southern also transports the oil on its B line through Paulding, Putnam, Hancock, Seneca, Sandusky, and Erie counties, and on their T line through Ottawa County and Sandusky County's Fremont, Clyde, and Bellevue. CSX hauls 15 to 30 trains a week with the crude oil through Defiance and Henry counties alone, sending other shipments through Hancock and Wood counties and through Seneca County weekly. And Canadian Pacific moves 2 to 4 trains a week with 1 million gallons of crude oil through Williams and Fulton counties. That means at least 30 to 62 million gallons of Bakken crude oil is traveling through our area every week. And in Quebec, it took only about 2 million gallons of exploding oil to level that town.
We deal with a lot of hazardous materials moving through Northwest Ohio at any given point on any given day.
In Port Clinton, Fire Chief Kent Johnson has trained his firefighters for potential derailments.
We feel we are well prepared in the event of any emergency. And with the resources that we have between our fire department, my mutual aid companies.
Norfolk Southern says it's committed to safety.
We drive the same roads. Our children attend the same schools. We have plenty of incentive to make sure that we are operating in a safe manner.
But Norfolk Southern and Canadian Pacific think we shouldn't have access to this information over security concerns. Washington, D.C. train expert Fred Millar says they want to keep the public in the dark.
They are forcing many states to sign confidentiality agreements as if there was some kind of a homeland security question here. That is a completely hogwash excuse.
And Millar says rail companies are now running risky unit trains, 100 cars of crude oil in a single train that could set each other off.
What we're dealing with here is a catastrophe that the fire service really could not deal with.
That danger clear enough that on May 1st, U.S. and Canadian transportation leaders announced a plan to phase out old train tanker cars that carry oil and other flammable liquids, and to require enhanced braking systems on trains.
You can't control what comes down these tracks by your home or along your street, but if you live within a half mile of trains carrying Bakken crude oil, there are safety precautions you and your family can and should take.
Be prepared, get your 3-day pack, get your medicines together, and when the time comes and I need to evacuate you, be prepared for that.
With this much Bakken crude oil going through your neighborhood, you need to know how close it is to you and be ready.
And here is one more map showing that web of all the rail lines we were showing you that carry the Bakken oil. This really shows what we discovered in this investigation. And on ToledoNewsNow.com, you can see all the maps, zoom in on them, showing all of the train routes, plus a response from CSX and Canadian Pacific. Jerry and Emily?
In fact, Timmy, I wanted to follow up right there. We see all those lines across northwest Ohio, but what about our friends in southeastern Michigan, our viewers there? Do these oil trains come through Monroe, Lenawee counties?
Jerry, we are still trying to determine that. We've been working hard on this. Michigan State Police have that information, but they have partially, really mostly denied our request for that. They won't tell us the train routes, how many trains come through per week. They say it could compromise security. We have our lawyers on it, and we are hoping to get that important information because we do feel everyone should see it.
Yeah, that's right. You're right, Tim. Stay on it. I know you will. Yes. Thanks so very much.